So let me ask you something. How do you tell a story that's been silenced, maybe for generations? I mean, for way too long, Indigenous stories have either been misrepresented or just ignored. Well, today, we're going to look at a community that's not just asking that question, they're actually building a whole new media landscape from the ground up to answer it. Okay, take a look at this. It's not just a beautiful picture of an eagle, right? For the Haudenosaunee people, this image, it represents something called the good mind. It's this idea of being at peace, of watching over the land with care. And that really powerful concept, it's the beating heart of a brand new media organization that's all about reclaiming their own story. So, who exactly is this community with such a deep and important mission? Well, let's dive in and meet the Good Mind, Strong Heart community. If you just looked at the surface, you might think, okay, it's a nonprofit arts group in central New York making some high quality films and videos. And you wouldn't be wrong, but that's not even half the story. If you look a little closer, you'll see something truly, truly revolutionary going on. But first, we need a key piece of context. The community we're talking about represents the Haudenosaunee. And let's get the pronunciation right because it's important. It's Haudenosaunee. This is the name for a historic alliance of 6 indigenous nations. You might have also heard them called the Iroquois Confederacy, or the People of the Longhouse. And their mission? Oh, wow, it goes so much deeper than just making movies. Sure, they want to provide accurate portrayals of Haudenosaunee history. That's huge. But they also want to share these powerful, real stories of what life is like today. And the goal isn't just to talk to their own people. It's about uniting all of us across cultures and beliefs. So this isn't just about setting the historical record straight. It's about building a future where Indigenous voices aren't just a footnote, they're heard and they're celebrated. Okay, but what's really driving all this? What's the philosophy behind such a big mission? To really get what they're doing, we've got to go back, way back, to the ancient principles that guide them. Right at the very center of everything is the Great Law of Peace. Now, think of this as the constitution for the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. It's a philosophy that has literally guided them for 1,000 years. And its core principles? They're simple, but they are so profound. Mutual respect, cooperation, and a real sense of community. And you can see a direct line from those ancient ideas to what they're doing right now. Just listen to this from their mission statement. They're inspired to replace inequality, hierarchy, domination, and powerlessness with mutual respect, personal empowerment, cooperation, and a sense of community. I mean, they're not just talking about change, they're actively building it. And these symbols here, they're not just pictures in a history book, they are living ideas. You've got the Bear Clan, which stands for this fierce, protective kind of love. And then there's the wampum belt, representing lasting agreements and the path of peace. These are the very threads that weave this whole community together. Okay, so that's the philosophy. But how in the world do you take these ancient ideas of peace and working together and actually build a modern-day organization around them? That's what we're going to get into next. It's a really fascinating question when you stop to think about it, right? How do you actually build a real, functioning organization that completely rejects the usual top-down power structure? One that's actually built on a foundation of mutual respect instead of hierarchy? Well, their answer is a complete departure from what we usually see. Forget the traditional top-down board with a chair, a treasurer, and all that. They've created something called a cooperative board. It's a place where power is shared. Leadership actually rotates, and every single member has an equal voice. It's a total game changer. And this isn't just some vague philosophical idea. They've built a real system to make it work. The cooperative board always seeks consensus for big decisions. And get this, it only takes 2 votes to veto any major decision, which gives everyone a lot of power. They also have a wisdom council made up of respected leaders from the 6 nations to provide guidance. And of course, they still follow all the legal duties of a nonprofit. So it's both revolutionary and really responsible. But why go through all this trouble to create a totally new kind of organization? I mean, it sounds like a lot of work. The answer lies in a concept that is absolutely central to their entire mission: tribal sovereignty. Now, tribal sovereignty, that's not a metaphor or a nice idea. It is a legal and political reality. What it means is that the 574 plus federally recognized tribes here in the US are considered nations within a nation. They have the inherent built-in right to govern themselves. So let's break that down a little. This means tribes can have their own courts, their own schools, their own healthcare systems.
Their relationship with the United States is officially government to government. And this part is so, so important. Sovereignty is inherent. It wasn't granted by another government. It's something they've always had, and it's recognized by treaties. So respecting it isn't just a nice thing to do, it's a legal and historical obligation.
And this is exactly where sovereignty and storytelling come together. This quote says it all. My intention is to really heal Indigenous oppression with astronomical knowledge and original ways of knowing. You see, we claiming that knowledge, those stories, that is an act of healing. It's a powerful way of asserting cultural independence. And this beautiful piece of art gives us a glimpse of what those original ways of knowing look like. It actually represents Haudenosaunee astronomy, a sacred science that connects the people to the cosmos and to their own history. Storytelling, you see, is the vehicle. It's how this history, this identity, and ultimately this sovereignty are passed down and kept alive for the next generation. So they have these incredibly deep foundations and this unique structure. But what kind of stories are they actually planning to tell? Let's take a look at their vision for what we'll see on the screen. All right, their first big flagship project is a monthly TV show. And the title really says it all. Today in the Life of the First People. And you can forget any old, tired stereotypes you might have seen before. This show is planning to dive right into the rich, complex, vibrant tapestry of modern Indigenous life. We're talking about exploring everything from the life of a faith keeper like Oren Lyons and the details of sacred astronomy, all the way to food sovereignty, the powerhouse Haudenosaunee Nationals lacrosse teams, and even what's happening in contemporary music and comedy. It's the whole shebang. But in the end, this is about so much more than just one TV show. The ultimate goal here is to create a media landscape where authentic Native perspectives are finally recognized and valued, where they're shaping their own narratives. It's about promoting real equity and wellness for their communities. It's such a powerful reminder, isn't it? The full story of America just isn't complete until its Indigenous roots are truly honored. And that kind of leaves us with a big question to think about. What are the stories in our own communities that still need to be told?